So now we have done with member class, we have done with nested inner class. Now let's focus on anonymous inner class. So what is anonymous inner class is, so for that let me remove this class here and we'll focus only on A, and somewhere here let me remove this part also since we don't have a class B now. Now let's say in this class A I have a method called as public void show, and this method show only print, let's say, system.out.print, let's say print ln, and what it prints, it prints hello, or we can say hello world. Simple. So in this class A I have a method called as show which only prints hello world. Now in order to call this show, what we need is we need object of A, so we'll say a obj equal to new A, and then using this obj we can call this show, so we can say obj dot show. Okay, so every time you call this show or every time you say obj dot show, it will print this statement which is hello world. So we can just run this application, so we'll say run as Java application. You can see we have hello world. Now what we can do is I want to call this show, I want to say obj.show. So obj is the instance of A which is printing hello world. But I don't want to see hello world now. What I want, whenever I call show, it should do the implementation which I needs or which I need. Uh, so like example, if I say call obj.show, it should print my world. Instead of hello world, it should print my world. Now, in order to do that, what we can do is we can use a concept of polymorphism in which I can define, we can use a new class called as class B, and in that class we can define a same method called as show, and then instead of calling A method, we can call B method. But again, I don't want to do all those things. I just want the instance of A, but the output I need is my world. So what we can do is we can simply say this object, I don't want to go for the definition which is provided here. I want you to define your own definition there itself. So what we can do is after this bracket, we can specify curly braces, and then instead of defining this method show somewhere here, we'll use that method here only. So we can say public void show, and we can print here it is system dot out dot print ln, let's say print ln, and we can pass here let's say my world. So now you can see I'm defining a class. So this block here is a class is because I'm defining a method, and this class don't have any name, and that's why this type of classes are called as anonymous class. And since we are saying obj.show, so it will jump to this obj and say, okay obj, do you have show? Obj will go inside here and say, okay, I have a method called as show. That means this show will not get called. So if I run this application now, if I say run as Java application, the output is my world instead of hello world. Simple, right? So what we are doing is we are just providing a named object here, and then we are calling that named object with the method called as show, but instead of defining that method show inside your class A, we are defining it here. Now we also know whenever you work with a method and whenever you work with an object which is used only once, we can use something called as anonymous object. So what if we have something in this way? Now which method it will call? Obviously this method. But since I don't want to use this object, I will remove this part. And since it is just new A, if I run this application now, so if I say run as Java application, the output is hello world. But again, I want my world. So after this line, again we have to go for the definition. So this show will come somewhere here. And inside this, we have to say public void show and system dot out dot print ln, and we have to say it is my world. So instead of calling this show of ABC class, we are calling a show of anonymous class. So what we are doing here, we are creating an anonymous class using anonymous object. So we can go to this extreme level also by for creating an object. So we have done with this inner class, in which you have three parts: member inner class, nested inner class, and anonymous inner class.